and welcome back to Vampire the Masquerade, the Transylvania Chronicles here on Dork Tales. I'm your storyteller, Kelly. Are you seeing him? And I am ready to transport you back to the dark medieval period as we return to the Transylvania Chronicles today on Dork Tales. But I'm not doing it alone. Time traveling with me are a precocious cast, a coterie, one might say, of vivacious vampires, including the vixen next to me. Hi, Robin.
Oh, hi. I'm a vixen, am I?
Well, you were before the makeup went on.
That's fair.
Nobody cared who you were till the makeup went on.
I put on the wrinkles. Yes, hello, everyone. I am Robin. I use she, her pronouns, and so does my lovely Zamisi Tereza Dinescu, who uses she, her pronouns right now. But yeah, super excited to be
Lovely
getting
might be
into
a
game.
stretch, but yeah.
What? She's so lovely. She's a
not on the
family
inside.
woman now. You didn't ask about her insides.
She can show them to you if you want.
No thanks.
Yes.
Anyway, moving on. Anything else, Robin? Hey, Chris. Sorry, on Tereza's insides, we moved on.
I'm Chris. I go by Blogg in the chat. Use he, him, or they, them pronouns. I get to play Rainald, our La Sombra in the group, and I just got to say, like, with that makeup that Tereza has, the amount of shade that she can throw with just a subtle look on the face is fantastic. It's up there with Maggie Smith and Orion, because that kid is the master of shade and side eye. But like when she gives a sour glare, it's just like, oh, I'm in danger.
It's true.
Looking forward to being here tonight and carrying on, seeing what kind of shenanigans we can get into.
Fantastic. Also in danger beneath you is Kal.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kal. I use he, him pronouns, and so does Bastien, the Salubri Watcher. Yeah, he's got a third eye, but he usually tries to keep that asleep. Not really lately, for better or worse. And no matter what anyone says, Rainald, you're more Sombra in my eyes.
Than a Lo Sombra. You
never let anyone tell you that you're less Sombra.
You guys are Los Hombres, the two of you. Also joining us on our adventure. Los Hombros. Someone make a t-shirt. All right, we'll make a get-along shirt for the Ventru and the La Sombra.
Hey, let's not get too far.
Let's not get too far. All right, so Jen will not be joining us tonight. Jen has caught the cold that has been going around, so definitely want her to rest up her voice, because next week we're down at Big Bad Con in San Francisco. If you're in the San Francisco area, come find us. We're gonna be there doing stuff. We're not running any official events, but we're gonna be playing in some games. We're gonna be going to some panels. We're gonna be schmoozing and musing. I don't know, but we're gonna be in San Francisco. It's gonna be fun. I haven't been to California in a long time, so it's gonna be a lot of fun. Also, a lot of fun is our sponsor tonight, Bookwyrm Games. Bookwyrm Games is the one who convinced me to go down to Big Bad Con, so come and check out their booth there. They're going to be there live and in person, where you can probably use code DorkTales at the booth to save 15%. Go there and check out Bookwyrm Games live and in person. You can use code DorkTales there, right? Check it in the chat. Let me know to save 15%, or you can go to their website to save 15% by checking out all sorts of things. Robin, you are going to be rolling your Transylvania dice tonight, which are a lovely bloodstone. They're not going to betray you tonight.
They better not, otherwise I threatened them last game. After that, they were very mean to me last game. Yeah.
Bathe them in blood.
I am going to not be rolling my amethyst dice from Bookwyrm Games tonight, because those are mage specific and they would kill you. And I don't want to do that to you guys, not tonight. But
Kelly,
Bookwyrm Games is...
May you only roll 3s.
May I only roll 3s? You know what? I'll roll one just to see. It was a 4. My luck's coming back slowly but surely.
I rolled a 2. I rolled a 2, so no.
I stole the 1 from you. I added it to my 3, got a 4. Perfect.
I rolled a 3.
Bookwyrm Games is an amazing sponsor, and they have kept the lights on here for a year now. Go and check them out. You can get your own dice. They have liquid core, they've got resin, they've got plastic, they've got metal, they've got wood, and in the new year, they're going to have Dork Tales dice, which includes maybe some ideas for some D10 sets for this game right here. So if you want to roll some D10s, you should definitely head to Bookwyrm Games starting next year. But hey, why wait? You should go and check out their backer kit right now for Pintober, where you can find their kitchen or their witch's kitchen enamel pin collection. Bookwyrm Games is a fantastic sponsor, and you should go check them out immediately. Use code DorkTales to save 15%, or check out their fantastic Pintober enamel pin collection, because you like to collect pins. Who doesn't? We are all in our goblin mode phase. Besides that, another reminder that on November 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, we are shutting down Dork Tales to run Extra Life over that weekend. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it is going to be 14 games to raise money for the Children's Miracle Network. If you're in North America, this is a tax-deductible donation. So if you are looking to shed a little bit of money and lower your tax burden before the end of the year, it is a great way to do it while supporting a great cause and affecting games live in front of you. If you got the extra funds, it's fantastic. If you don't, please share around that we're doing this. A lot of businesses will do donation matching, and it's a great way to help kids directly. We actually won an award last year for our donation efforts. So it's like right there. It's off camera, but it's right above my copy of Voidheart Symphony, and it's very exciting. I've got people coming in from all over the internet to run games, and it's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. So please join us for that weekend. All right, so before we begin, does anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns about what is happening here on Transylvania Chronicles?
Just a quick recap, because I was in a bit of a state at the end of last game.
Your dice were in a bit of a state, but you were fine. All right, so last episode, you all traveled toward the Tremere Chantry at Seoris, while in the company of one Goratrix, which I always want to call Goratrix Lestrange, but I shan't. Goratrix traveled with you as you were there to deliver him to his doom, and upon traveling through the ever-harshening landscape, you eventually came across a flooded riverway, more like a flooded stream. Bloated and pregnant onto the banks in front of you, you took some time to water your horses and to get a drink of water. But as you were doing so, you discovered that several of your retainers had begun to feel the effects, even despite the vampiric vitae floating through their veins, stomachs, wherever it goes, suffusing their personage, their humors. They were starting to become a bit ill from days upon days of travel through some of the worst weather that you have ever seen in your hundreds of years of existence. Looking for ways to remedy this, Alëna and Tereza set off into the woods in order to find some natural remedies. You came across some marshmallow and honey, and as you were harvesting those, you were beset upon by several Schlachta, vicissitude ghouls of Clan Zamisi. A pitched battle occurred, where Bastien and Rainald joined the fray. Bastien running naked from the river to do his battle, and Rainald's robes all the way down, so he made it there and absolutely rocked out by killing one of these guys with a rock. And in the midst of this, one of the Schlachta nearly killed Bastien, dropping him into torpor. As you recovered from this battle, Goratrix asked if he had your permission to awaken Bastien. Seeing little other option, you agreed. Goratrix opened a vein, and calling upon his thaumaturgical might, woke Bastien from his torporous state. And that's basically where we left game last time, because it was a nice dramatic stinger. So that's what happened. Does anybody have any questions going forward? Anybody need to spend any XP?
No, I think Tereza's still in her.
You're still in your war form. Yeah.
Yes. My war form. I love it.
That's what it is. All right. So without further ado, let's begin episode 14 of the Transylvania Chronicles here on Dork Tales. There is no heaven awaiting you, Bastien. When the claws rend your guts and ribs from your flesh. But there is no hell either. An eternity of blackness stretches out in front of you. And you settle down into it. It is cold, like winter earth. You could feel your teeth clenching. You can feel a tremble in your bones and blood, your marrow turning to ice, as the ground seeks to reclaim you into its icy embrace. And yet, as you begin to settle down into the slumber of ages, you realize that you are not alone. Light explodes over your face. And you realize there is a torch hovering scant inches away from your nose as you lie on the ground of this barren field. And yet it does not give out smoke, nor does it give out heat so much as a cacophony of light and sound. And as your eyes snap open, 3 of them, you will see that these are not, that the fire is not a torch, but a flaming sword, held by the man whom you always see, the one with the dirty blonde hair, and the face that reminds you of your own in a hazy reflection of a fogged mirror. He speaks to you, his voice tinged with a French accent. Bastien.
You're here.
You have fallen.
I don't... Yes, I have.
They will be coming for you. The monsters.
Monsters different than the ones I've already met.
Greater ones. The dragon is coming. Are you strong enough? My child, you are the end of my bloodline.
I'm not strong enough.
Then what will you
But-
do?
Perhaps I can change that.
Bastien. God commands you to be righteous. God demands you to prostrate yourself before him with blood on your knees and your hands that you have spilled from the unworthy. That you have spilled from Satan's child. Do you understand?
I do not.
Then perhaps you will learn. You must make a choice, Bastien. Are you a monster? Or are you God's monster?
If I must be a monster, then I'll be a monster that serves God.
And seek out the way of faith. The road that follows in the footsteps of Christ, his apostles, and those who are worthy. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. And as he says that, he plunges the sword down, and you see it pierce your chest. It peels the flesh away. It burns without singeing your skin, and you feel hellfire. Or perhaps the opposite of it, but fire of a divine and retributive nature. It fills you. You watch the light climb inside of your flesh like stuffing mud into a sack. It fills you, it bloats you. You feel your bones catch fire. The holy light burns you down to a skeleton. And then the pain vanishes in a moment, and only the sweetness of blood is on your lips. You smell loam, damp earth. You hear the cawing of ravens. And you see 3 figures gathered round you. You were lying naked on the ground in a small grove. A huge raven perches above you, staring at you with glowing red eyes. A smaller raven sits nearby, crowing down at a hideous, horribly monstrous shape that you recognize after a brief moment as Tereza. Rainald looms over you. And so, even closer, does the man known as Goratrix. Rain splatters down on the branches and canopy above. Well, looks like he's awake, Goratrix says, running his tongue down a length of a cut on his arm, sealing it. Welcome back to the land of the living, Bastien.
There is no land of the dead.
Is that a question?
There is nothing.
Why should there be?
it appears that today is Bastian's lucky day that you were traveling with us.
I do my best to help those who would help me. You may wish to shut that eye where we're going. I have no compulsion to harm you, if that weren't made obvious enough, Bastien. But my contemporaries, when you deliver me to my doom, might not be so cosmopolitan.
We have how interesting fate has brought us together under the same wrath from the same clan. And we're both going there.
I suppose we're like brothers that way. Well, I'll give you all a moment to compose yourselves and speak among each other. But you are welcome.
Start hearing bones cracking and flesh making weird like sounds as Tereza will just shift back into herself. I'll spend a point of blood as well to keep her long claws out.
Okay.
Which I think it's just a point of blood. I'm guessing Tereza's also probably now naked, because I'm pretty sure she hulks out of her clothes.
Yes, the clothes don't shift with you.
Yep, yep. So
Oh,
it's
you
a
need to
naked party
get
now,
Hulk
apparently.
pants. Need to get
You get
Hulk
Hulk
pants.
pants.
Do they have to be
Yeah, the
purple?
tearaway clothes. Boy, when the tearaway clothes come in the 90s, Tereza's gonna be in love.
Oh God, 90s, Tereza.
Mm-hmm. Gortrix will give a soft bow, and then will step away, averting his eyes, leaving the four of you and Polnock by yourselves.
Well, that could have ended quite a little bit more seriously. If you will excuse me, I'm going to see to the corpses.
Yes, I'm also going to look at that. That is the Misi bark, traditionally.
Do you brand your ghouls or?
I don't yet. Some might. But I'm wondering if I can get a sort of... see if there's any sort of scent to them.
Do you know whose territory we pass through?
Would I know that, Kelly?
You can make me an intelligence and politics roll. 8, please.
Intelligence and politics. Got it.
Can any of us make that roll?
Sure. Yeah. I'll make it 9 for anybody who's not a Zamisi.
Yeah, I might pull. Oh, I can't even make that check. Never mind.
That's gonna be 2 successes.
2 successes. You have a good inkling. And as you turn the body of one of the Schlachta over, it is confirmed. There's a symbol burned into its inner thigh next to where the sex has been removed in order to bring fatty padding up in front of it, where a bone has been raised out from the pelvis to harden up through its abdomen, protecting it from low blows. You'll see on the inner thigh near a serrated plate that covers its femoral artery. It's an insignia of a deer. A single eye blazing in the center of its forehead, and stylized antlers in the shape of a V. Vaiku. Viorella Vaiku, the Duchess of Flesh. A hardline Zamisi elder, very territorial. You thought that you were not traveling through her territory, but territories do shift occasionally. In fact, on the way here, you might have even made some corrections to make sure that you were in more neutral ground. You know a bit about her. She is something of a monster. But then again, who isn't in your clan? She is known for her preference from drawing from her local populace, taking a tithe of one family member per generation. Taking one member of a family per generation. Sometimes that can be delayed until after they've reproduced. Sometimes they return, other times she uses them as parts for her experiments. Although you've heard recently that she's been working on something large. Very large. She is particularly adept in coldonic sorcery, and is something of an artisan, creating, well, the correct term would be to say moaning tapestries. She creates tapestries of flesh that are still capable of singing and telling the stories that are depicted on them.
Idol right there.
So you're going to know that just looking at this?
Mm-hmm. Viorella Vaiku. Oh, we must have stumbled through her territory. The Duchess of Flesh, she calls herself.
Is
And
this
she's
somebody
more
else we need to make sure we don't leave an enemy behind us?
No, we really don't. I hear she's been working on amazing projects of the flesh. I would love to gain her insight on things, so we definitely must make sure we do not step on her toes and anger her. She is an elder, and she's very good at what she does.
If she is set, perhaps we trespassed inadvertently, but if she is set on continuing these sorts of attacks, we might have to do something a little bit more drastic.
I will send a letter with Polnock. See if he can find. Would I know where she usually
Sure.
keeps?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Tereza is going to rip off the flesh with the sigil from the Schlachta.
Okay.
And
Spend a
she'll
point
take
of
our
vitae. Spend a point of blood for
Fleshcraft.
flesh crafting. Yeah.
Yep.
Are you
She's
basically
going
going to write this in veins?
Yep.
Okay. All right. There we go.
Yep. 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 She's going to write her note with the flesh, basically, in very polite, formal, decorum. Try and be like, we were ambushed by your war ghouls. She'll mention she is a child of Micah Vikos, just transporting through, and the greatest apologies for entering any sort of territory. If there is an issue, please return my bird and we can meet and discuss any wrongdoings that we have done.
I don't know the protocol among your clan, but do you think it is safe to send Polnak unguarded with a note made out of the flesh of one of her deceased servants? And maybe
Alëna will
prize-
let out a cry. And will swoop
Alëna.
down and pluck it out of your hand.
Polnak, please accompany Alëna.
Polnak will
To the
nod
Duchess.
in his very ravenish way, and the two of them will take off to the sky. Polnak trying to stay caught up to Alyona's very, very massive wings.
He's certainly going to be fit when he comes back. It will show her that we're serious and that we're also not something necessarily to be easy prey, but also respectful. And prove that I am, in fact, a clan member. Therefore, the ability to craft the flesh. I figured it would be better than a letter on paper. It's more personal.
I was more concerned with what kind of a note she might send back out of Polnak. Same logic, same thinking. But with Alëna there, I'm sure we have nothing to worry about.
I hope that it's correct.
Kelly,
Yes.
are we able to gain any blood from the remains of any of the Schlachta?
So Alëna drank one completely dry, and Tereza drank most of the other one. So
Nope.
I think
Tereza does not, because she's my thing for Lilith.
Oh, okay. Then
Yeah,
in that case,
that's
yes,
a
you can
sin
drink.
for me.
You can drink up to 5 points out of one there, Rainald.
Take a couple if take two if nobody else finishes the other three. I'll try and offer it to the corpse to Bastien and the others, and nobody else wants it, I'll fill up, but
Beggars can't be choosers.
at least there's a couple more monsters gone. Poor creatures. Probably doing them a blessing, ending their lives.
How gross do they taste?
Oh boy, they taste like spoiled hamburger. Just on the edge. That greasy, gamey taste that tells you that your stomach might be a bit sour afterwards, but you won't get sick, probably. Something about them is unpalatable. They taste almost artificial. But nourishing. Very nourishing. Are the three of you doing anything else? Goratrix stands about 30 feet away, keeping an eye out over the dark and blighted terrain on the edge of this wood.
Real quick, Kelly.
Yes.
I can search it up if I need to, but I was just wondering if you knew off the top of your head. What counts as hungry again in vampire?
Generally,
For blood pool?
under about 25%. Well, 50% less is hungry. 25 less is starving. Is generally what I've always done. So if you're at 3 blood, I guess about 30%. So if you're at 3 blood and you have 10 points of blood in your blood pool, like if your max blood pool is 10 and you're at 3 or 4, you're hungry. If you're under, or you're very hungry, you're starving if you're at 1 or 2. And I'd say you start getting peckish anything under like 60%.
Okay, cool. I'm just wondering for like role playing and like filling up for
so
my.
what's the name
for
of it?
my sin.
What's the wording of the sin again? It is
Let me just find. I was just scrolling through the roads again where they are. Christianity, humanity. Come on. Feeding immediately when hungry is the minimum wrongdoing.
so feeding immediately, yeah. So I would say that yeah, you'd probably would want to exist for a little while at a lowered hunger. Like
Yeah, so like under like at the 30 kind of % ish.
no. No, I'd say like what's your max blood pool?
20.
I'd say anything like hungry would be anything below about 12 or 13 for you when you're starting to get hungry.
Okay. Then Tereza will take the 3 blood from the other Schlachta if no one else is.
I already took it.
All fair.
All right. Did you actually take it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then you're going to be hungry for a little while longer.
Did you want this?
If you're not full, Bastien, I could do with
Sharing. Okay, I've got this. It's almost ran dry. They have less blood than they look like they would.
Oh, I'm aware. I've
A lot of it's on the ground.
dealt with. That was a very bad rock. It really spurted out of the vein there.
Well, Bastien, you already drank it, so
That's
it's
fine.
as you.
I will.
So-
I'll just have to drink it out of you.
If you must.
No, I will.
There's no
on the
dilution
way.
in sharing, right? It's 1 for 1.
No, please.
Or do
yeah,
you
go
always
ahead.
take damage? No, you can.
No,
safely-
please drink from each other. It's fine.
Yeah.
Do it.
No, I do not want to be bloodbound to Goratrix. Fuck him. No, but along
Good
the way,
lord.
after we get on
That's
the
good.
on the road, with Tereza will probably go hunting to find some blood.
We're quite lucky Goratrix was here to help pick you up again, Bastien.
Quite lucky. Aided us in the battle, I assume.
No, he seemed to stand and watch as we were fighting. He only swooped
Nice.
in.
I see he makes his own luck.
Well, I can see some hesitation there. We are guiding him to his doom.
As you drop the Schlachta to the ground, now empty, is there anything else you're doing here in the clearing? You've collected the marshmallow and the honey.
Tereza is going to try and use her actually oh, do I have to spend blood to activate my Call of the Wild? Let me see. No howls and streaks. Okay. Tereza's going to let out a howl and try and see if she can get a wolf, because she is quite hungry.
Okay, go ahead.
Charisma plus survival. And then I have animal affinity does reduced by 2. Nice. Okay, so difficulty 4. You like this? Oh, I'm not very charismatic. I'm not good at survival either. Great. This will be good. All right. Well, that's 3 successes. Cool. So
Howling
half
out into the night.
the wolves in the area.
All right, let's roll to see how many wolves are in the area. Ready? I rolled 1.
Cool.
So
Half a wolf.
Half a wolf shows up. It's just some guy shows up being like, "Hey guys,
Hi, guys.
there were 2
A
wolves
wolf of
inside of
Wall
me,
Street.
but I didn't feed them." Yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio shows up.
Yeah.
So, out of the darkness, there will be a howl that matches yours, echoing into the darkness. And a large wolf, a moment later, will pad into the clearing. It is a strong male. You can see that it's beginning to show some age around the muzzle and eyes. And where it was once incredibly mighty and powerful, the weather has been particularly bad to predators. It is bonier than you would expect. What do you do?
Tereza's gonna
Look at the little fella, all skin and bones.
grapple for it.
Run, Moon Moon, run!
The wolf will pad up to you, stare at you with amber eyes.
You are a beautiful creature. I think you can make much more service to me as well, if I give you a little bit more. And she'll bite it and then not kill it, because
Okay.
I like to ghoul my wolf too.
Okay. So, the way this works is if you can gain 1 point of blood from the wolf, because animal vitae is far thinner, and you can feed one as well. So, in one, out one.
In one, out one. That doesn't net me anything.
It doesn't. A wolf only has like 3 points of blood.
That's true.
This one maybe is 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, then if it has 3 and it's Perez is hungry, so I will just drain it then. If it's
Okay. Gain 3 points of blood. The wolf's body will go slack in your hands. You will smell its animal musk, and the scent of the wild on its fur. And then can I get a perception and alertness roll from everyone? Difficulty of 7 because of the storm.
Does intuitive apply for this?
It does not.
Okay.
And that's 8 successes for Goratrix. What the fuck?
Okay. I wish intuitive applied because I rolled 3 10s in this.
That's still 3 successes.
Yeah. It said difficulty 7, you said?
Difficulty 7. It's
7
hearing
successes.
based. 7 successes.
Yeah, my dice are making up for their abysmal performance, apparently.
Oh, dang. I thought I was. Yeah, I have 5. I thought mine was I.
What storm?
All right. All right. What did you guys get? So I got 7 successes. Rainald? 5
Nothing.
successes for Bastien? Nothing? Okay. The two of you and Goratrix will cock your heads to the side as you hear a loud scream echo from the direction of your wagons. All right, you take off running that direction. Rainald, your friends rush off into the distance. What do you do?
I follow. What the heck?
Goratrix will follow as well, matching pace with you. Seems that he's not particularly enamored with the idea of rushing off into danger head first.
I mean, the other two are just slightly ahead, so we're safe.
Amidst the rain, you run the last couple 100 feet back to where the wagons are next to that swollen river. Another wagon is pulled up alongside of yours. You can barely see it in the darkness, a lantern illuminating the front of it. Its side is painted with garish colors. It is a cloth-covered wagon. And as you run up, you will see Lena dancing and screaming. A sputtering fire has been lit on the ground between the pair of wagons. An ugly man with a square-shaped face and a stout body is expertly strumming a lute. Lena dances around the fire, bare as she was when she was bathing, a bottle of liquor pressed to her lips, the kind that is made of dark glass and wrapped with straw around the base. Another woman, slightly smaller than Lena, if such a thing could be true, sways with her. Their bellies undulating in the moonlight as they dance. This woman is slight, with long hair that has been tied back into braids now, intermingled with bits of bead and bits of feather and other items that seem to have been picked off the woodland floor. Her clothing is scant, mostly scarves wrapped around the parts of herself that she hides from God. Bastien, you will recognize this as Kisaya. As you all rush up, you will see this woman. She's very slight. I'd say she's 4'11", maybe.
Is the slightness from like a malnourishment, or she was turned younger?
You think
Like,
that
do we-
she was probably about 13 or 14 when she was turned. But she also just appears to be very small-boned.
Yeah.
She grins at you, and you can see in the moonlight the silver reflecting off of her elongated canines. Was wondering when you'd make it back here.
Who the
Is
fuck
this
are
one of
you?
yours? I'm Bastien's sister. Can't you tell? We look just alike. Who are you?
See,
Lady Tereza Dinescu.
Oh, my lady. Shall I bow or prance? Or curtsy?
Bastien, do you do in fact know this woman?
my lady, this is Kasaya. She helped me, was so kind as to help me retrieve Rainald's stolen lock box when we had last set foot in civilization.
We heard a scream. Why is Alëna screaming?
She lowers the bottle from her lips. She knows magic, Papa.
Sometimes Lena does that. Screams.
Watch. And she takes another swig, spins around, and holds her arms out and begins to fall backwards into the bonfire. How close are you guys to the fire?
Not very.
Not very, yeah. Tereza's like speaking distance, I guess, and like somewhat of a distance where she could probably be
Okay.
easy to close if it was an attack position. So she's
Sure.
probably
So
like as
good
close as what you-
15, 20 feet away. Good.
Yeah.
Okay. She's going to tumble back, falling onto the ground into the bonfire as if she means to make a snow angel. And you will see a sight that causes your beasts to rise up, not in frenzy, but like watching someone tear a hangnail and feeling that empathy feeling. Watching someone stub their toe, watching someone do something that makes that visceral reaction inside of yourself. She falls into the fire and through it with a splat, her naked body hitting the ground where it is covered in mud. I'm burning! I'm burning alive!
Oh, very funny.
What can we do for you, Kasaya?
Oh, for me? I was just traveling by and I saw your wagons unattended. I wanted to make sure that you were all right. Is everything okay, my lady? I did not mean any disrespect. I am merely a poor and humble traveler traveling through these lands.
I do not believe that for a second, but I'm sure that is good talk in the towns.
Going in the same direction.
Perhaps until something goes wrong, perhaps we should at least all show a little bit of hospitality
Of course.
and kindness towards another. There's no need for us to be on edge. After all, you did help
Agreed.
retrieve the box, according to Bastien. Thank you for that.
Of course. Anything I can do to help my dear kin. We're all kin in the end, aren't we? Just a few bloodlines descended from the father of all. Should we not help each other?
Well, some of us kin, some of us broken.
Who's this handsome one? She gazes past Rainald at Goratrix.
Oh, his name is Rainald. And,
Father,
he's a man of the cloth.
I have spent many years on my knees, if you are so willing. But perhaps there are better times ahead of us. So, friends, I must ask, are we comfortable with each other?
I mean, I'm bearing it all for you. You must be pretty comfortable.
Rainald, and our esteemed elder guest. You must feel out of place with all those clothes on.
You're right, my lady. I just assumed that you were wearing clothes that I could not yet see. The Empress and her new clothes. The woman springs forward,
tale
quickly
sounds
closing the
familiar.
distance, and then skids to a stop about 6 feet away from you, Tereza. Do you not see? You are wearing the most magnificent garb from Constantinople. A beautiful brocade, silks, finery from the east.
One day.
She smiles and walks behind you. Do you let her to get out of your sight?
No. Tereza will turn with her.
As you do, there is a sudden weight on your flesh. And you find yourself warm. Your clothes shift with you. And it is as she says, you are now garbed in the finest royal outfit, the most modern fashion of Constantinople, with honest to God seams of gold stitched into it. Your nudity covered, you are opulent. You are radiant. You glow like a queen. There! You can see it now. You just had to believe it. The rest of you will see this as well. She turns, and then suddenly a crack of lightning illuminates the air, and Tereza is wearing this finery.
What manner of sorcery is this?
I only reveal what is true inside of your chest. I don't want to say heart. I've known too many Setites.
I think we got off on the wrong foot. I think I like you.
Yes, Mother. May I call you... May I call you Mother? If Bastien is my brother, then you should be my mother. Mommy, please. But we're all friends here, right?
Until...
For hostility.
Yes.
Good.
That's Rainald.
She snaps her fingers twice. And the thick man stops playing the lute, leans over, and waves twice. And you will see a motion over at your wagon. A lump that you hadn't noticed of clothing, baggage, or something else at the side of the wagon will shift. Rags like a ghillie suit will stand up, and you will see a much taller, broader, homelier woman. But still with that kind of dustiness of skin and very strong facial features with long, curled, dark hair, will stand up in this ghillie suit holding a crossbow that you will realize from where you are standing was pointed directly into your wagon, where inside you were having Clara sleep, and perhaps Dominic as well.
I think Carl was as well.
Okay, where the three of your ghouls were resting. And you realized the crossbow was pointed directly at their sleeping throats. The most bizarre thing is that as she stands up and releases the crossbow's mechanism, normally that's quite a sound. It's like a crossbow has so much leverage in it that you will hear that. She stands up, deadly silent. In fact, as she turns and nods, the man will begin strumming and playing again. And you will hear snoring suddenly from the inside of the wagon, as someone inside, being somewhat congested from this cold, will roll over. But it comes immediately, as if someone just turned the volume back on.
Keeping it nice and quiet for our sleeping babes.
Okay.
Didn't want to wake them.
And the crossbow was just a
There's
precaution.
obviously monsters around. We need to
We
make
didn't
sure
know
we're
this was...
protecting everyone.
Of course.
Exactly. I didn't know that it was you.
Well, I see you and Lena have gotten along nicely.
She is a sweet pea. Is she a prized possession, or is she for eating?
Prized possession.
Consider
Where are you
all
headed?
the prized, all of
Oh,
the sleeping babes. If you truly want to be part of my family and call me mother, my family does not hurt one another. And if they do, they suffer dire consequences. Everyone will flash. Everyone else in the party will flash back to the hotel room a few nights ago.
you're the one who stuck that squealing pig in the inn. Moses saw that one burying him in the backyard. Isn't that right, Moses? The thick man nods.
What was left of them?
So wasteful. You could have fed him to pigs.
Well, waste not, want not. The Earthworms must eat as well.
I do have to agree with her at that point. There's better ways to make sinners repent. But it was a family matter, and none of our concern.
Fair enough. Well, there is safety in numbers. Would you care to have your numbers increased by 3 along this dark and treacherous trail?
Where are you headed?
We're headed west.
Well, looks like we can at least accompany each other until our paths diverge.
I'd love to hear about your travels. Things you've
So
never
many
seen
to
on the
be
road.
had. Oh, of course. Of course. And I can guide you through here. You know that we're not that far away from some very dangerous locations. I could guide you for a pittance, a professional courtesy.
And what price would that be?
Oh, nothing that you couldn't afford to pay. I did see inside of that coffer when I helped Bastien retrieve it. I do know that you have quite a bit of traveling coin on you, and just a bit of that would be very useful. We are just humble travelers, minstrels, and troubadours. It is obvious anybody who has any points of any type of cultural knowledges that these are Romani. And even in this era, they're not particularly well taken by most people, unfortunately.
Well, it is for traveling expenses.
Did you know this copse of wood that you stand near grows denser and denser the further west you go? And after a while, as you make your way toward Hermannstadt, there is an entire tribe of lupines there. Arrogant lords, the lot of them. They play your game, my lady. They pretend to be elegant as you. They call themselves the Lords of Shadows.
I thought that was our thing.
Yes. Can I make a history roll to see if I recognize that name at all, or if there's any history?
You can make me an occult roll. I'll allow
Yeah.
that. Let's go difficulty 9.
Into an occult?
Ancient occult, difficulty 9.
Alright.
Cult difficulty 9. Difficulty
'Cause
7.
Oh, fancy.
Oh, none for me.
Oh, you won. You won. That's a none for me because of a 1.
What does the La Sombra know about Lords of Shadows with 4 successes?
With 4 successes, all right. The Shadow Lords, they are a group of werewolves that originated in the steppes of Eurasia. They have an extreme distaste of the workings of Christianity, and definitely they focus primarily on like Byzantium and the Balkans, but they do stretch out to this location. They are particularly vicious. They're the La Sombra of werewolves. to put it bluntly. And I don't mean that in the idea that they are able to like control and create shadow as La Sombra are, more that they are Machiavellian puppet masters. You would also know that they have a particular dislike of Christianity, overcoming their old ways. However, in spite of that, some of the ones who are further east have been impressed by Islam and are inserting themselves into its ranks. Particularly around Byzantium, and I'm not sure about timeline, but eventually, actually, let me just check one thing real quick. Okay, cool. That's way before here. They even claim Justinian, Emperor Justinian of Byzantium, as one of their own. So big wolves.
They are some of the more impressive and dangerous of the lupines. Definitely worth the investment to avoid.
And you know where they usually keep? Kisharos?
Yes, I do. At least I know where certain ones of them do. They congregate around here. I can keep you away from them. Of course, to do so, we may have to stray a bit, but one of their hereditary enemies is nearby.
Somehow I don't find that encouraging information.
Yeah.
No.
What is that?
A woman, a lady, a duchess. One of your kind. One of our kind.
Well, I just sent a apology letter to her, so maybe
She
it
was
might be best
very-
to take us towards her.
Perhaps it would be. She was very interested in meeting you and your guest. She grins fangily and glances at Goratrix. Of course, I think there might be a secret route that goes between the two. Of course, it is a sacred family secret of the travelers. I couldn't give it away for less than what remains in that coffer.
But is Tereza not your family? So shouldn't that secret be willingly shared? Take the chest.
We will happily guide you. Safely, of course, as a long-standing family favor.
May all of our future endeavors be just as fruitful for both of us.
Of course. Oh. That reminds me. Out of curiosity's sake. While Defiance was looking in on your wagon, what's in the box?
We'll have to get to know each other a lot more before.
What box?
Over nearby, you'll hear the sound of feet hitting the ground hard as the woman jumps off of your wagon. Whatever it is, it smells like shit. And you will see Dominic's head look out in alarm, dressed in his bedclothes, holding his sword. My lady? Who are these people? Are you alright?
We are just fine. We had a brief incursion earlier, but with getting herbs for your sister. But we are with friends now. They are going to help guide us through this land.
Yes, my lady. And on the ground, you will hear, Dominic! The fire doesn't burn me!
How much have you given her to...
Honestly, very little.
Oh. All right.
Fine.
Bedtime.
What's Goratrix's reaction to all of this?
You see that he is watching them very closely. And as you look back at him, he looks at you, and you will feel a pressure between your eyes as a voice echoes in your mind. A word, if you please.
I'll just kind of say, if you'll excuse me, I wish to tend to my affairs. Get you that coffer.
Yes, and I'm going to go check on Clara with the herbs. She's actually gonna go check on the box, but you know, also Clara as well. But you know,
As you head over into the car, you see that Carl is still there sleeping. He didn't roll quite well enough to wake up from the shifting movement.
I was surprised. That's the perception and alertness is some of his highest stats.
I know, but he's a little under the weather. So, as you head in, though, he will awaken.
Oh, I'll motion for Johann to come with me as I head over to the wagon.
Johann will step inside of the wagon with you. And you have, do you just have the one wagon? I think you just used to have the one.
yeah,
right
we
now,
just
right?
have the one for the traveling.
Yeah, this is what happens when we don't run for a couple months and I forget. How many wagons we have? You go and check, and the box is still locked, still chained and set. And it is, you can hear the plucking of strings outside still. Bastien, are you outside or are you going inside of the wagon? For the conference call.
Yeah, I'll bring... Lena's out of it.
Lena's just lying on the ground. She sits up when you say it's time for her to go to bed.
Oh, yeah, I'll take her to the conference room.
All right. Climbing inside of the wagon, Goratrix settles himself down and drops into a hushed tone. Do you trust them? Good, then you're not complete fools.
I'm wondering how many more are out there. We're not in much of a bargaining position at the moment. I think playing along is safer for now, and hopefully we can get through this unscathed.
We also will notice and learn for next time we cannot leave our wagon unattended.
I think actions speak louder than words, and that all of you are distracted by the mask that they portray. Their actions are that they did not strike. Their actions are that they will guide us through the woods.
Their actions are that of highwaymen.
Well,
Just because
they would have
they're
already
smiling.
attacked if they were highwaymen.
It's probably easier for them. I want to make it easier for them to just help guide us through. Money can be replaced. It's easier for us to come across than it is for them.
How much do you think that your Duchess wants my head on a spike?
I am not sure. I will have to see what response I get from Alëna and Polnock.
To be blunt, I would be surprised if her bloodlust for this man is anywhere near as controlled as yours is.
No, it wouldn't be. Not after what I did to her sire.
You're a very popular man, Mr. Johann.
Mm-hmm. Johann tries.
I guess I'll have to go talk to the Duchess later. After we've dealt with you.
I still think
Delivered you. Brought you there. Sorry, I didn't mean dealt with.
I still think if we can find a way to end this arrangement in a mutually satisfactory way, we'll all be better for it.
Well, I certainly will.
You're so cocky. For talking about what you did to her sire, do you want to go meet her, or are you scared to see her again? You give me the impression that you are both foolhardy enough to brag about what you're doing, but also not confident enough to face your actions.
Do you wish me to demonstrate my powers? Lady Dinescu.
Say yes.
Why not? Humble me.
If you insist.
I get out a notebook and quill and just start taking notes.
Goratrix stands up. The wagon shifts slightly. He brushes his clothes off, as slicked down by rain as they are. He stands and cracks his neck loudly. And then, with a sprightliness, he steps between you and leaps onto the ground. And rounds the corner out of your sight. And then the music stops and the screams begin. Can I get an initiative roll, please?
Oh shit, guys.
I mean, that's one way to end the problem.
Yep. I thought he was gonna fuck up Tereza and do something with her, but nope. Nope. Well,
Don't worry about it.
I'll also have you roll for your ghouls as well.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, Carl coming in clutch. Holy crap. So lightning reflexes, I think, does count, doesn't it?
It does.
What was initiative again? I always forget this for some
A
reason.
D10 plus your wits and dexterity
Dex.
stat.
Oh,
can't
flat.
remember.
Yeah.
And
Wits and dexterity flat
we
plus
have
the
it.
D10. Right. You know what? I'm just going to put that on my character sheet.
Probably a good idea.
Initiative.
Carl with a
Oh.
23.
Oh, Carl is actually going
Jeez.
to.
I rolled a 10.
Oh, wait. Wow. That is amazing. 8
Okay.
plus 7 is...
Rainald got really good too. He got a 14.
All right, and then
me roll
Goratrix
for
has
what's his face?
a. Goratrix has a 21. Then so
Come here, ghoul.
then I have a 13
Excellent.
and an
Oh.
11
Wow. Good job.
for Defiance and Kasaya. Okay. So what I'm just going to say is, okay. So looking at initiative here, everybody is in there. I am looking at Carl with a 23, Goratrix with a 21, then down to Bastien with a 16, then a 14 for Rainald and Dominic. Then, oh, pardon me, a 15 for Tereza. Okay, then a 13 for Kisaya. Don't forget to add your celerity to that as well.
I did.
Oh, right. That's why I have an extra fourth dot is the celerity. That's right. I was like, do I have a specialty? No, I don't. That's celerity.
Okay, Paul Knock is not here.
Yep. Kal just let me know that in the chat.
Okay, and then Lena with a 13 as well. And then an 11 for Defiance. Okay. There is a scream outside, and you are going to hear the most awful sound. The best I can approximate is it sounds like a bladder of wine being ran over by a carriage. A horrible and viscera and blood explodes against the side of your wagon. You smell blood and offal, and then ash on the air. What does Carl do?
Carl gets up, gets his sword out, takes a look out. What does he see outside the wagon?
All right. Outside the wagon, you are going to see that on the Romani wagon, a lute is falling to the ground, and the man that was strumming it, Moses, his skin has parted and exploded from the navel up, creating a 3-foot hole in his body. He has popped like a tick. Blood is raining in a 30-foot sphere around Goratrix. Kisaya is reaching into a bag to draw some type of weapon. The woman known as Defiance is pulling back on her crossbow, a look of horror on her face. What do you do? What does he do?
Carl's going to immediately go towards Rainald and get in front of him to try and protect him.
Sounds good. All right.
Use his action to block.
All right. Dedicated action to block. Sounds good. And as that occurs, it's Goratrix's turn again because he got a surprise round on that. Goratrix is going to take a step back, say, "No, I think not," and is going to raise his hand. And as he does, you are going to hear bones begin to shift as the woman known as Defiance is going to jerk backwards, her arms slamming to her side as she is lifted a foot off the ground and pulled in front of the wagon. "Carl, be a dear," as she hovers with her throat directly in front of the wagon. That's his turn. Bastien.
Still holding Lena. Or I suppose we've entered initiative and how out of it did she seem?
Not very. She was mostly just being a giddy magic nightmare pixie girl.
Magic nightmare pixie girl.
Manic nightmare pixie girl.
All right. And they Johann has grabbed
basically
the loot
Jedi
player
Jedi force lifted her.
and is presenting them in front of Carl.
In front of Carl, but basically in front of the wagon.
Oh. And I have the urge to, if I ever feel like someone is in danger, to help my friend, I feel, right?
Probably. Oh, well, you definitely feel much more well inclined. Like, you've got a little baby crush on Goratrix now for some reason.
A magical compulsion and a crush.
You know?
Yeah.
A magical compulsion. Oh, yes, and you do have the Dominate as well.
That's what I was alluding to, yeah.
No, I was talking about the Blood Bond, but yeah.
Oh, he's got a blood bond. I've got a blood bond.
That's fair.
We like each other.
You know what?
Right?
Absolutely.
Does it look like he's in danger?
Yeah, Kisaya's probably going to do something to harm him in a moment. She's drawing a blade.
Fuck. Okay. All of my powers and none of them. And none of them helpful.
I mean, you have sword. Apply directly to throat.
I do have sword.
You're the righteous wrath of God.
It's true.
I'm going to sword and step up to Kasaya
Okay.
and whisper to her, "This is a battle we will lose."
Okay.
Stand down.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and make me a charisma plus leadership roll. Or intimidation, whichever you prefer.
Leadership, none. Intimidation, none. Okay, okay.
Perfect, perfect.
Charisma, some.
Good, good, good. Do it at difficulty 7. Because you don't
Can't
have any...
use my humor specialty.
Oh, good. Good, good, good. How do you... how is it
8
humorous?
8 and 10. Oh, I said I'm
How is
not
it-
using my...
Oh, okay, good.
I can make it humorous if...
No, it's okay.
I
so,
still got 10, an 8, and an 8. So, 3.
All right. 3. She is going to hesitate for a moment. He attacked us! And Bastien, as she reaches down, you see that she's holding a long, serrated knife in her hand. You are going to instinctively want to protect him. Can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Can you roll me Dex and melee?
You know who just buffed their melee? Would you say the nimble?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Come on, Bastien always sucks at this. He wouldn't be good at this now. Surely.
Difficulty 6.
9. And what was the difficulty?
6.
9, a
3.
6, and a 7. 3.
3 successes. All right. So your sword is probably a +2. So roll me your strength +4 in lethal damage. Difficulty 6.
Also buffed his strength. Not to brag, but his strength is 2 now.
Ooh, I'm so proud.
1, 7, and an 8.
Okay.
On this roll, do 1 still take away? On the damage
Nah.
roll?
Nah.
No.
All right.
Then 7 and an 8, too.
I thought that,
when do 1s take away from the successes?
so they take away, I mean, actually, they do take away from damage.
Oh,
You just
okay.
can't botch.
Yeah, it's how I rolled no damage
Yeah.
last game.
Right,
Yeah.
they can, but you can't, like,
You can't,
Botch and
like,
then-
heal
You can't
someone
botch.
with a sword.
hey,
Just,
if anyone can,
cauterize my
Salubri,
wounds.
if anyone can,
All right. So, slashing out with your sword, you are going to cut through some of the fabric that's bound around her chest, but your blade is going to kind of dull a bit off of her ribs without even cutting through the flesh. She's made of stronger stuff. You look down at your hand with a bit of surprise. You weren't expecting to act, but you just instinctively reacted when she started forward. Tereza, you're up.
Tereza is going to go to attack Kisara, I think.
Okay.
She's gonna reach out with her claws and just... I'm going to do... Yeah, actually, I'm going to split my action
Ooh,
to
fancy.
make one attack with my claws, because I have them
Okay.
out.
Yes.
And then I want to then use my body crafts, now that I have nice access to her, to her. She's going for her arm specifically. So she's going to
Okay.
try and claw open her arm and then just reach in and try and...
Pull the muscle out like you're like de-meating a
Yeah.
crab? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that sounds beautiful to me. Make me an attack roll.
Okay. Please remind me the splitting with the celerity that is
With
just
celerity?
yeah,
so
celerity 1.
So I'm still operating on revised rules, so give me just one moment to brain it. And Chris, don't correct me. I have to learn. So you add your celerity rating to dex-based dice pools. Additionally, you may reflexively spend 1 point of blood to ignore penalties from multiple actions. So you can ignore a number of penalties for multiple actions equal to the dots you have. So celerity 3 means that you make 3 actions before suffering the +1. So this does not mitigate dice pool reduction.
So I have
means-
1 point of celerity, so I will be able to roll 1 action flat and then 1 with a +1 difficulty.
No, you'll be able to yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I just don't
Celerity
suffer the.
Is celerity 1
penalty.
really good then?
So
It's good for the bonus dex.
That's right.
which does mitigate the dice loss if it's a dexterity-based action. So if you have celerity 1 and you spend for an extra action, your first action, if it's like a dex-based action, is actually as normal. Because your celerity gives you +1 dexterity, and then you don't suffer the difficulty thing. Your second action would be a +1 dice,
Minus
+1
one dice.
difficulty, minus
One
one.
dice.
Yeah, because for multiple actions you suffer. Yeah, so first action is +1 -1. Each additional action is +1 -1. There we go.
Against it,
So-
yeah. So
so
basically,
your
I'm
first
ignoring
action-
the first +1 -1.
Yeah, and then the second one is just +1 -1.
Yeah.
You
okay,
still
cool.
do the -1 dice on both.
Yeah.
You take.
Yeah,
So,
I just spent a
so-
blood to ignore that. Yeah.
Well, you always take the dice penalty.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So give me
Yes, but
Dex
it-
and Brawl flat. At the -1 dice.
But then I have +1 for doing the dex and brawl. Because I
You
have the
get your
dex.
celerity added to your Dex. Yeah.
Yeah. Do. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna spend a willpower because I'm a little dice shy after that last combat. For now. Cool. Awesome. Which I'm really glad I did because my dice are actual betrayers. What was my difficulty on that?
Difficulty 6.
6? Cat.
Betrayers.
Seriously.
Usurpers.
What'd you get?
More ones.
Turncoats.
That's gonna be 3 successes with the willpower.
Okay, so that's not that bad. So roll me strength +2 plus your claws are a +2, I believe. Or are they
+1.
Okay, so strength +3, including the claws.
Why so many ones? That's gonna be 2 successes.
I'm going to spend a point of vitae to ignore that damage. So you are going to lash out and are not going to be able to pierce her skin, as her body resists it with her fortitude. Your next action was to fleshcraft. So you can't make
Yes.
contact with her inner workings, but she's still covered in flesh, and she was very wise by not covering herself up with a lot of things. So there's a lot of canvas to play with, unfortunately for her.
I thought this was between Tereza and Johann. Why is she attacking poor innocent Kasaya?
I don't know, man. All right, so you still have your second action, which was to fleshcraft. What would you like to do? So she basically is dressed like a belly dancer right now, in terms of what coverage is
Yeah.
open.
Yeah, I think I would just like to try and fuse her arm to her side.
Okay. Go ahead and make me a vicissitude roll.
Dex and bodycrafts. Love that. So now I'm at a
Difficulty-
-1.
You're at minus.
Still.
You're at a minus. You're at +1 difficulty, -2 dice.
Cat.
And so I am looking for difficulty of 7.
Cat. 4 -2. Oh. I'm gonna just reroll that 10. That's gonna be 4 successes.
Okay, 4 successes. All right, you are going to press forward, fusing the flesh of her arm against her ribs, basically from the elbow up. She's going to snarl in your general direction, and Rainald and Dominic. Rainald, you're the player, so you go before the ghoul.
Well, there's a perfectly good snack in front of Carl, who's immediately in front of me. So I know Johan was like, deal with it, Carl. But you know what? Rainald thinks everyone has the situation in hand. So he's going to go up and bite the ghoul and start drinking.
Okay.
Tuck in your bib and
Yep. It's like, don't mind if I do.
All right, biting into his throat, you are going to feel his lifeblood pouring into you. All right, that's your action. Dominic, what's Dominic going to do?
I feel like Dominic has the same compulsion as Bastien to protect Goratrix.
Oh yeah, he
And
kind of
also
does, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. And also Tereza is also right there too. So probably makes sense to try and stab this bitch.
That sounds perfect. Go ahead, make me a dexterity and melee roll for him.
Perfect.
I should probably
Different-
ghoul a kitty, so that way this can be canon.
Yeah, you
Can be
probably should.
catting.
Can be canon.
Yeah. Cool. Difficulty
Difficulty 6?
6. Cat.
However, don't forget that you can spend a point of vitae from your ghoul to
Oh.
activate his potence.
That's right. I will do that. How
Okay.
how does Pones work again? I keep forgetting.
So it will not matter for the attack roll. It will
Okay.
matter for the damage. So make me an attack roll. He
Okay.
would be willing to spend willpower on this as well. So spend a point of
Yeah.
willpower.
Yeah, I was gonna do that. Yep. Oh, jeez, Dom, you're like two. You're on this. You're like either all or nothing there with those dice there, bud. That's gonna be 3 successes, 4 successes with the willpower.
Okay, so he is going to roll 3 plus his strength plus 2.
Plus 2. Okay.
And when it's all said and done, add an automatic success.
Okay. Oh, my curse of the wands, man. Difficulty 6, so that doesn't count. That doesn't count. Take 2 away from that. Do 10s re-roll on damage? Not unless you have a specialty, yes?
Does he have a specialty? What's his strength?
No, his strength's the 3. But I'm wondering
Okay.
if for buying it up and stuff like that.
Yeah, you might want to buy that up. So,
Yeah. Okay, so I had 4 successes, but the damn ones brought it down to 2.
I failed my soak roll.
Go Dom.
I technically double botched my soak roll, but that is not the way we're doing things here.
That means
so
they take quadruple damage. I don't make the rolls.
you don't make the rules. All right. Lashing out with his sword, Dominic is going to leap off the cart, stand next to Tereza, and is going to plunge his sword into Kasaya. Kasaya is going to make a frenzy check. And is going to triple botch her frenzy check. There we go. Tereza, you are immediately nude. The fire on the ground is immediately gone. And the area is plunged into darkness as all of the illusions in the area suddenly vanish. Because she lost concentration. All right. Kasaya is going to scream and is going to launch herself at... I mean, Dominic's right there. So that's going to be Texan Brawl. Okay, she's very dexterous. And she's a little brawly. Okay, that is 1 success. She latches on to Dominic, and
Dominic does have bone armor. Yeah.
He does have bone armor, but not from aggravated damage, I'm pretty sure. As she throws her head back and bites.
Or Bomer for short. No? Okay. I was just trying it out. All times.
She throws her head back, and with her mighty strength of 1, she latches, wrapping herself around Dominic, clinging like a feral cat, and buries her teeth in his throat. And yet, in spite of that, perhaps she hits the edge of the bone armor, perhaps something else, she fails to penetrate it. As she clings, snarling. Lena, it is your turn.
Oh, Lena's probably going to...
There is a crossbow that is lying on the ground.
Because of the exploded person.
No, because of the Jedi grabbed person.
Oh, they dropped what was in their hands when that happened?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, she seems distracted, and Lena is not anything if not resourceful. So, if it's possible in 1 turn, she'd probably shoot Kasaya while.
Okay.
Wait.
Is she gonna try for a heart shot?
Is she grappled?
She is not technically grappled. No, she's just kind of clinging.
Oh, okay, so that was for flavor. That wasn't.
Yeah, it's mostly
You know
it's for
what?
flavor flav.
Let's try for a heart shot.
All right, let's try for a heart shot. So we are doing dex and archery.
Why is Lena so much cooler than Bastien? Probably because she fills out. Okay.
All right, so attempting for a staking maneuver, what you're going to do is, so we're doing dex, and this is going to be a rough one, but so it is dex and archery, difficulty of 9.
Difficulty of 9. Okay.
Oh.
Oh, 1s. Get out of here. I rolled a 9 and a 10, but there's 2 1s.
Okay. Does she have a specialty in dex?
Agile? Oh, because even though she got the 10 might. Okay.
I'll allow it for this because
Is
I like
agile?
her. I'll
you
spend
don't
something good
agilely
happen.
shoot, right? Yeah.
I spend something good happen. She can do it.
Okay, 9 or a 10. Come on. Otherwise, it's a 0. Oh, I rolled a 10. Does
Okay,
it keep
keeps going.
going?
It keeps going.
Why don't I ever get to do this? And a 9. Oh, wow. Okay, so 0 turns to
Two more
2.
successes. So you got 2. That's great. So I'm just looking up what a crossbow does. I'm assuming it does a set amount of damage. Crossbow.
3L
Heavy crossbow.
armor piercing 2. Or heavy crossbow?
It's a heavy crossbow is 4L.
Nice.
So armor piercing 3, one might say. Okay, so you are going to roll me 5 dice, difficulty 6.
But 10s don't explode on the damage part. That's only on the attack part, right?
I'm gonna spend if something good happens.
Really?
Yeah, do it.
Okie doke. Wow, can I get lessons from Lena?
Yeah.
Because
I'd be interested in that too, I think.
What? Oh, this is the 4th rerolled 10.
Holy crap! You're only on difficulty 6. by the
Difficulty
way, for
what?
this. 6
6.
for damage. Yeah,
Yeah, I got 6.
you got 6 successes.
4 10s. And
Okay.
I rerolled all those 4, and
I got
2 of them
3
were
successes to soak, which means that you have staked her. There is a kapring as Lena lines up the shot as Dominic is kind of swaying around. She lines it up, takes the shot, and she goes limp. And with that, we are out of initiative. Rainald, you continue to drink down. Do you finish off Defiance?
No, I'm just gonna take like the 3, and everything seems under control. I'm going to share with my pack mates here, and I mean, she's no threat. So well, I think that
Now we have a second wagon.
and that we are all choosing to make the right choice of who we intend to ally with, I would hope.
I would hope so. Do you still have some in that that wretched woman?
Of course.
Oh, don't mind me. Without taking a step toward you, he raises his hand and intones something. There is a bubble beneath Defiance's flesh, as if a goiter were rising up. The skin trembles and then bursts as a gallon of blood streams across the naked air into Goratrix's mouth, 15 feet away. The body crumples like a wineskin that has been squeezed down to its dregs. Goratrix turns, looks at Tereza, and then down at the corpse, well, down at the staked form of Gasaya. After you, my
I
lady.
must rather insist on after no one. I'm going to step in front of Kaisaya.
So you get to eat the Schlachter after it's dead. And now you're stopping out again? Might start to feel offended, Bastien.
I must insist on not destroying her. That is all, my lady. And you and I have
Gortrix
always
has
been...
drained her dry.
I assume there was another body. I apologize for my impropriety.
Bastien. We are not in the business of leaving enemies alive behind us. Are you able to... I can't side with your decision unless you are able to guarantee that we will not regret leaving her alive. Can you do such a thing?
Huh. All of you act like it's a matter of necessity, when you can call woodland animals to feed your gullet, and the wagon's horses have blood aplenty. She cannot move. She is in... She's asleep, as you can see.
Oh no, she's quite awake. Trust
Why
me.
did you... But you went and attacked her first, Bastien.
I did, didn't I? Strange. I'm not saying it is off the table. I'm saying that we need not decide that immediately. The blood is coursing in the inferno inside of us. Demands blood. But sometimes people alive, well, whatever
And
it is
she
we are.
aimed to kill my son.
I do believe that she did not have her wits about her. Some of you
I
may be
think she
familiar
had.
with
Plenty wits.
that feeling.
Can I please get a perception and empathy roll off of all of you? Difficulty 6.
Ooh.
2.
Is this vibes?
It is vibes.
3.
4.
Ooh. Bastien, you are the only one that got enough successes to notice this. But as you are arguing, you will see the slightest crease of a smile on Goratrix's lips as he watches your chaos. The disharmony between you and your friends. The rest of you, he's placid, looking around. Well, now that that's taken care of, we should probably make haste so that we don't come across the lupines or this Duchess of Flesh. I must ask, Lady Tereza, was that enough of an exhibition for you?
Yes, it was. I garnered quite a lot from that.
Good.
Also, I'm rather annoyed that all of you men seem to have had your fill of nice, fresh blood. I will go drink horse, but it is not ideal.
Rainald? He gestures to the corpse that was once named Moses. Do you see what I can do?
I do.
Then know that when you go to Sioris, I am but one of many that will be waiting to thank you for delivering me. The smile fades from his face, and the threat is implicit as thunder cracks and you prepare to continue westward towards Sioris. But I think that's what we're going to call game tonight, as Tereza goes and eats some horse, and
She's so pissed. She's so pissed at you guys, and she's like, "Where's Alëna? I need my fucking
girl
power."
squad.
Yeah, right.
Give me the girl
Fucking
vampire that the fight I
fucking
started. Oh my god, silly boys.
men.
Can't
Silly
believe the
boys.
men. Even though I started this
Oh,
fight.
Goretrix was the one that had to go. Goretrix and his fragile male ego.
You're empathizing with Tereza too much.
No,
It's Tereza's fragile ego.
Rainald has been like picking up the dregs that everyone else has left behind. There was a quick little snack. He only
no
took
one's left anything for Tereza.
To be fair, Goretrix did leave you an entire Ravnos to eat.
Which then Bastion's like, "Don't touch."
Yeah, I know. How does that make Goretrix the good guy? What?
Right?
And I will point out, Rainald did agree with you wanting to eat him.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Like he did. He was just like, no, like, you know, prove that she can't come back for us, right? Like
Yep.
he sides with you on that one.
Yep.
But you know, if you really need a drink, Rainald will offer you his wrist.
Not a chance. You guys have drunk from Goretrix. Tereza's not touching Goretrix's blood with a 10-foot pole.
Oh, it's not like we drank from a Samitsi. That's worse.
Yeah, right?
It's true. Yeah, you don't want that inside of you.
Who knows what would happen?
I do.
I do as well. I've got that book on my shelf, and it's my favorite. Hey, folks! Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of the Transylvania Chronicles. I hope you enjoyed it. We're going to be continuing next episode as we make it to a little village called Alceditz. And as we're there, we'll hopefully have Alëna back as she comes back and is like, "What did I miss? What happened? There were exploding people?" You know, and so on. It'll be pretty great. But hey, thank you for tuning in. I hope that you enjoyed that. And a big thank you to our sponsor, Bookwyrm Games. Folks, if you like Dork Tales and you want to get more content, a quick reminder that Kal is running Descent into Avernus. There is a ton of Chronicles of Darkness and World of Darkness content that is coming to our Patreon in the new year, because it's almost the new year already. So you definitely want to join up with the Patreon. You can join the amazing patrons that we already have, starting with our divine producers, my mom, and I guess Cal's mom, because we're apparently related now. Shikon Dave Vermillion, as well as our demonic producer, Sorcerer Sanguine, our wizards of the Patreon, which we finally have a council of wizards now, folks. That's right. We have Tammy the Forever Cleric, we have the Ink Goblin, Karasha Urquhart, and Big Nut are all there.
All hail
Big
the
Nut-
Wizard Council.
Big
All
Nut the
hail
White.
the big nut.
Oh, hell. Soul Omen is our monster maker. And of course, we have our High Council of the Patreon, the Prince's Council, Taryn, Dustin, Amberthist, Raven with Baubles, Chef Eladeth, Larouk, Kelowna Kurd, Mike Baxter, Brian Kaler, Nerdy Metal Gent, and Grumpy Owl. You guys are all amazing. Thank you so much for tuning in. We've got a lot of stuff happening on Dork Tales soon. I hope you stick around for it. Friday is Vecna Eve of Ruin. Saturday is something.
Netherdeep.
Oh, Mage.
Netherdeep
Yeah, well, that's
and
off
Mage.
stream. So it's Mage of the
Oh.
evening at least. And then Sunday we've got Deviant, and we have something else that we're secretly recording off stream for the Patreon. So thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time here in Vampire: The Dark Ages. Blah.
Bleh.
Bleh.